So this is the video to complement the lesson on how to draw support and resistance levels, as well as trend lines and channels. In order to draw support and resistance levels, it is really advisable to get a naked chart like this one. So let me take you through the whole process. Let's open a market watch and select any currency. So I'll choose the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar. And then we start to design our charts, build it up to get our proper support and resistance levels. So the first thing to do is to go to properties. Select the color scheme. Select black on white. That is actually my choice. I go to common. I turn off the show grid. I turn off the show open, high, low, close. And I select candlesticks. One last thing to do. I would want my bull candles to be green. Okay. It's lime green actually. And I want my bear candles to be red. Choose the color which suits you. So now I have my naked chart. For support and resistance levels, it is always advisable to choose a higher time frame. You can start from the weekly or you can start from the daily. I actually prefer the daily time frame because it gives me more levels. Okay, so the first thing in order to do to get your support and resistance levels is to look at market turning points. The points where actually market becomes swing highs and swing lows. Like this point, the market was in a bull run and just turned and fell. This point is a turning point. This right here as well is a turning point. This right here is a turning point. Hope you get a drill. So support and resistance levels can be zones or lines, but for accuracy I prefer lines rather than zones. This is from the weekly time frame. Let me go to the daily time frame. Okay, I think starting from the weekly will give us reasonable levels before we come to the daily time frame. So over here, select my horizontal line, and then this is the first place I would like to place on my chart. Now this right here would also be a critical area. So now we have a zone. This place becomes a zone. This place is support and this place is former resistance, which broke through at a point. And right on top of here, this is another critical level of resistance. It broke through somewhere over here, but it was actually a false break. So these are the levels I get from the weekly time frame. Okay, notice something. This place was actually a zone of resistance. There was former support and resistance, and this idea is actually supported by this right over here. So I would like to place that one to my chart. See how nicely it forms. The wicks cut through, but more importantly, the closes are always enough. Then go back to the daily time frame and get the levels that you missed on the weekly. So this right here is a critical support level on the daily. Let's place it well. Right here the wick falls on it and the close falls here too. This can actually also be a support level to get an idea over here. I close over here and see how it works. The idea is to keep reasonable spaces between it, within 100, 150 and 200 pips. Just don't get so many support and resistance levels on your chart. It will make placing trades really hard. And then another final level before we are done with our levels of support and resistance. This right over here also becomes critical when we are placing trades. So as you can see, there is normal spacing within it. I would like to delete this one. This makes you get a reasonable support and resistance levels so that you can place trades clearly. So this is how to draw support and resistance levels. Let's move on to how to construct trend lines and channels. Constructing trend lines and channels, you will be using this tool, draw trend line. But then we will first need a market that has been in an uptrend or in a downtrend. So let's scan through our charts and see. Go to US dollars, Switzerland francs. The daily time frame, you can see an uptrend right here. And let's see where you can really get it well. On the 4 hour. Okay, this is actually a nice uptrend. So this is just how to draw the trend line. In an uptrend, you just connect the lows of the trend. These are the lows of the trend. It doesn't clearly fall on the trend line, but then we have some few touches. 1, 2, 3, went up, and then it broke through some in this area. Okay, let's also find a downtrend. Euro US dollar. In the daily, there is also a nice downtrend right here in this area. I can actually draw it from the daily time frame, but let's see where we'll get it pretty right. On the 4 hour. Okay, the 4 hour time frame is not loading any good. So let's try the daily time frame. Let's see if it will make sense. Later we go to the 4 hour to check. In a downtrend, we try to connect the highs as best as possible. And oh, it seems we can find a channel over here. Okay, this is how it looks like on the 4 hour. Let's get it pretty right. So this is a downtrend. We have 1, 2, 3 touches and a 4th one over here, and it finally broke through this. This is where you can actually buy since the down channel has been broken. This is also a channel, this is how to construct it. You just add another trend line. So in order to get a channel, you only need two trend lines. This is actually a down channel. Channel resistance, channel support. So day traders would actually buy here, and long-term traders would only look to sell in this channel. And after it broke through the channel resistance, other traders would also like to buy and buy big. Let us see if we can have a channel on a uptrend. Okay, you can also have a channel right over here. Doesn't seem to touch very pretty like the one on the Euro US dollar. So this is the lesson on how to draw support and resistance levels, how to draw trend lines and channels. Always know that support and resistance levels are best drawn when you start from the weekly time frame and pull down to the lower time frame like the daily to get an accurate support and resistance level. Also how to construct trend lines and how to construct channels. It's as simple as ABC.